All right, there we go. Max, just say it. Just look into the camera. Say,
Molly
I was wrong. No, say, I
Oh.
was wrong. Tom Brady never fell off a cliff. Please do it.
I was wrong. Tom Brady never fell off a cliff.
Good job. Now you can have your snack and enjoy recess. Good job, Max. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. The studio's giving you a round of applause. Good job, Max.
About time.
I'm the winner again. Yay for me.
Good job, Max. You owned it. All right, on that note.
That's all I was asking.
Yeah.
That's all I said. That's what I asked in the first hour.
4.5 years, and
I
you
like
did.
the way Molly asked better.
I'm so proud of you.
I delivered it.
It's more like a ravine.
Oh, God. All right, let's go to break.
Just saw Ronald Jones. He is coming on in the running game behind this offensive line, and as well as Leonard Fournette. That competition has been good for them.
2nd down and 8.
Them taking a shot right here is the formation they like to do it.
2nd down and 6 off the play fake. Look at the Scotty Miller, and has Miller. 3rd down and 2. No running backs in the game for the Buccaneers. Cameron Brady in the slot. Giants get some pressure late, and it is completed. How is Levy's, believe it or not, still unsponsored after all this time? Here's Brady to throw. And again, that could come mid-December at the earliest, that decision. On 3rd down and 8, Brady able to complete to Mike Evans. 2nd and 7. Brady to Miller. 3rd down and 10. See if they take a shot here out. Blitz is picked up nicely, and then Brady's going to be swallowed up.
But right now, in the 2-minute drill before halftime, this is when you have to keep it from scoring.
From the 25, 2 timeouts remaining. Underneath to Leonard Fournette, and he'll get out to the sideline.
Strike you with explosive plays in the blink of an eye, so you can't let your guard down.
Brady across the middle.
Levy calls that the business.
Giving him the business. 1st down and 10. Brady zips it across the middle, and 2nd most in the NFL since 2001 and Drew Brees. That's 1st down yardage to Mike. Giants rushing 5. Brady waiting for Fournette to clear. Lowers the shoulder to try to get out of bounds, and he can't. It is the 4th interception for Carlton Davis this season. And here's Brady to throw off the quick change. Ronald Jones out of the backfield. I think that's his first. Here's Brady. Hits Jones on his knees. 3rd and 2. Brady to throw for it. Tight window, too tight. Giants only rushing 3. Brady has all sorts of time. Throws on the run, and the extra time afforded him.
That's why defensive backs need to stay on the receiver when you're not engaged with them. Same principle.
Yeah. From their 47, Brady off the play fake to throw. Finds Gronk in a seam. Another nice pocket for Brady to throw out of Mike Evans. A goal to go means touchdowns for Brady and Tampa Bay. Perfect in that department on the season. 1st and goal from the 3. Tipped, and Gronk still catches it. And they're going to give him the touchdown. He had possession long enough. Brady to Gronk. Stop me if you've heard that one before.
You ready to jump on that? I was so ready. Perfect. That was a great catch, bro. That's why I was so thrown off with it. I was ready to jump. Yeah. Good.
3rd and 4 from their own 40. Giants rush 4. Brady looks and completes. It's 1st down yardage.
Forced that turnover yet in the backfield, but he's been back there.
1st and 20. Brady puts some air underneath it, and it is caught tight. From the New York 42 off the play action. Brady has time, able to complete to Cameron Brady. 1st down and goal. Ends up being a 9-yard penalty. Brady throwing for Evans in his neighborhood. Got it. Touchdown. No player in the NFL has been targeted in the end zone more than Mike Evans over his career. And another one to the list. Tampa of the lead, and Brady retakes the touchdown pass lead over Drew Brees.
He said, Tom said, hey, what to say, Mike? Tom said, clear that dude, man. I said, all right.
Brady in empty backfield. Giants only rushing 3. That's why Brady has all that time and time enough. Everything looks good on that operation.
There you go. Let it go. Line it out. What it took.
I'm worried about the Buccaneers. And I'm worried about the Bucs, Marcellus, because I think about the company that they're keeping. The Giants, I think, are a decent football team. The Giants, the Eagles beat by 1 point. The Cowboys beat by 3 points. And the Buccaneers, you beat that same Giants team by only 2 points. I just, at first, I'm a little bit worried because I look at the company you keep. Where did the Buccaneers fall? So we can't just beat Tom Brady. He's a Hall of Famer, greatest to ever do it. So beat everybody else. And the Giants did that.
Because even Super Bowl champions have questionable losses on the year. And we don't know what the Buccaneers are going to be. Who's to say that they're going to be the Super Bowl champions or not? But the point is, we know that they're a contender. But even if you win it all, you have questionable losses. Look at the Chiefs last year when they lost to the Colts. Remember the Colts? Oh, that team that made the playoffs? Oh, they didn't. But the Chiefs lost to that same team by 6 points. But let's not exaggerate it. Tom Brady went out there and played a clean game, 106 quarterback rating. Just to give you a little perspective, he is the GOAT with a career 97 quarterback rating. So for Tom Brady, good game. Tom Brady this year, good season. His touchdown percentage is 3rd in his career.
Somebody on this show, way back when, way before the season started, as soon as Tom Brady turned it into Tampa Bay, somebody predicted that the Tampa Bay Succaneers, as they used to be known, would become the best team in the NFC and would get to the Super Bowl, which will be played in Tampa. First home team to ever play in a home field Super Bowl.
Correct.
Somebody said that on this show, and somebody across from him laughed.
Yeah, I did.
Just laughed.
I'm still laughing. It ain't happened yet.
Your hatred for Tom Brady continues to put you in a bad spot. I had an opportunity to work with you at the Super Bowl in Houston a couple years back, and I said, oh my goodness, this guy is a genius. He can talk all sports. He has the skill. He has the art. But then, now that I'm on the show with you every single day, you're losing credibility because this is a great team. Tampa Bay is a great team, and you refuse to call them a contender. And I believe it's because of Tom Brady.
You say my hatred for Tom Brady clouds my mind. Whilst I would argue some folks on this show love affair with Tom Brady clouds their mind. In what universe does playing the New York Giants to the final snap of the game enhance your standing? In what universe does when Danny fumbles is turning himself into Danny Picks for a night and you still almost lose, if not for a very curious, let me put this flag right back in my pocket,
the Chiefs lost to the Raiders. The Chiefs lost to the Raiders, so let's just knock them down then.
That was weeks ago. That was before the tears even existed. And so I just can't raise the Bucs yet.
Kamara that way as well. It's 3rd down and 10. 4-man rush. Breeze hangs in the pocket. Throws wide open. Is he inbounds is the question. Smith for the touchdown. Traquan Smith in the end zone. They left him alone. 3rd down and 14. Brady will flare it out to Jones. He stopped at about 24. Your Saints went to Philadelphia, won a ring there, and now he's back in the body. Brady slips away to avoid the sack. Deep downfield, and it will be incomplete. Intended for Brown. Brady in the open. 3rd down and 8. Bucs still looking for their first down, and will not get it. Gronkowski, the intended receiver. JPP and some 11 seasons started through first with the Giants. Murray is the back. Breeze again, great protection, throws, and that will be caught. That's Adam Troutman for the touchdown. So he goes to another guy.
I wonder how many receivers can run this lately.
Up the base on 2nd down. Catches man at 25. Chris Godwin, speaking of Winston, is now with the Saints and backs up Breeze and second down at 10. Breeze under pressure, throws, and reaching for it is Emmanuel Sanders for the touchdown. Brady still looking for Tampa's first down. And that pass is to Tyler Johnson.
The one guy to get him started is a rookie.
Look out, and it's picked off. It is Yamaka, lineman, the defensive lineman who comes up with it.
The guy that comes right to mind is right there. Marcus Davenport missed the first 4 games with an elbow injury.
Alvin seeks the end zone, and he's in there. Another touchdown. 1 first down. Start the drive from the 25-yard line. Brady under pressure, fires, and up at the 45-yard line, balled in by Chris Godwin. Scored 2 tonight for 27 yards. Brady in the pocket, flares it out here to Leonard Fournette. Over and they deal with Brown in motion, and the pass goes in, and before he goes out of bounds, he's able to hold it in, going backwards to move the sticks.
Look at the guard, little nemesis.
Brady under pressure, fires, and that's dropped. 4th and 6. Brady under pressure, going deep downfield, and a little too far from
option routes and try and get something going.
Brady goes to the outside, going kindly to halftime. Brady pressure, they get to him, but he gets it away again, and Mike Evans, there he is, there's your man.
Easy completion.
Receiver 6'5", 230, Brady, step it up, throws into traffic, and it's going to be hauled in and kicked off. Marcus Williams, 2nd and 10. Brady is in there, throws, and heavily caught at the defensive lineman A.Q. shifting as the fullback, the fake, and then the pass is incomplete. Brady going to the end zone, and that's broken up. Lattimore.
The decision and free agency where to go had a lot to do with wherever his family wanted to go.
Wow, nice grab. Snatching it out of the air as Antonio Brown. Knocked him in practice. He's going to get a hat trick here. 3rd down and 23. Pocket is clean. Catch is made. They're giving both sacks to Hendricks. He's got 2 tonight. 4th down and 7. Brady under pressure again. Throws up a prayer. It's all yours. 7 years old. Catch is made. Josh Hill for the touchdown. Service, Brady fires, and that'll be caught by Mike Evans.
Defensive coaches don't always complain about those kind of challenges.
Brady slips it underneath. Fournette, big game. Halfway through the quarter. Brady flushed out. Just has to fling it away.
Browning, offense, number 12.
But we're at the halfway point. New Orleans Saints have something going.
No questions. Checking at 24. And Brady's going to go down again at the 46-yard line. How many 3rd and 34s has he faced through the years? Picks him a few yards here at the 30-yard line. So from 48, they get off the snide. And they do.
They'll return taking it. No, it's like etiquette, right? If the Saints are taking a knee,
Blaine Gabbert will take a knee. So that's rush number 5, and that will set an NFL record. You see, it was worth sticking around for this.
Everyone's got to do a lot better, and it starts with me. And get back to work tomorrow morning and try to make it a better week. We're 6-3. You know, I wish we were a lot better than that, but it's where we're at. There's no magic play. There's no magic anything, you should go out and do your job much higher at a much higher level.
Eat 'em, eat 'em, eat 'em.
You know, there's no excuses for what it is. It's a poor performance by, you know, a team that's got a lot ahead of it. So hopefully we can learn from it, come back to work this week with a lot more urgency, execute a lot better, and try to go out and beat a good football team.
To say Tom Brady's struggle is a slap in the face to struggling. Thomas, Edward, Jameis, Winston, Brady, Sr. looked awful.
Jameis Winston plays for New Orleans.
Oh, no, because of turnovers. That's what I mean. You knew exactly what I was talking about, Skip Bayless. Okay. You think you're slick over there, but ooh, that hurt. I thought they did a good job, Skip, of getting around Tom Brady's feet. When they didn't get him, they got him off his mark. And when you can do that with Tom wants to be 7 yards, 8 yards deep behind the center. And they made him move. They got around his feet, you know, had him picking up his feet, trying to move a little bit, Skip. They did an unbelievable job. And when they didn't get where they did, a lot of times they actually got to him and put him on the ground. And when they didn't, they just made him uncomfortable. This is not let's say the Saints. The Bucs won't go on and play well. But Skip, they need a lot of things. Tom needs a lot of things. You can't run the football 4 times. They ran it 5 with the kneel down. I'm not going to count the kneel down. Skip, they can't run the ball 5 times.
You realize that was the fewest in the history of the National Football League? History of.
He looks terrible.
Yep.
He's not the leader that you want him to be if he can't get his stuff together. I would have got right in his face. I said, bro, you need to pick your bleep up.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
I would have said, pick it up. Pick it up.
And he had said, who the hell are you? That's what he would have said to you.
No matter why. I'm the guy that's not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
That got us down 31-0. That's who I'm not.
You better laugh now, because this is the one guy in sports you do not bet against, especially when he is down. And he is way down. But you know, when he's way down, what often happens, do you remember what happened after week 4 back in 2014, a fateful Monday night in Kansas City in which they lost
41-14.
41-14.
I remember.
Huh? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Then what happened? I had to sit and watch that night. I was at ESPN. I had to watch all the ESPN analysts who were at the game completely write off Tom Brady and say it's over for Tom Brady. Poor Tom Brady. Belichick didn't give him enough help, and he's just going to have to go right on home. And what happened after that? He went and won another Super Bowl. And then he won another one. And then he won another one.
If you look at the games, the most lopsided games that he's had in the regular season, he normally follows that up with a Super Bowl. It happened in 2018. He got blew out by the Titans. It happened in 2005. He got blown out. So 2003, he got blown out. So
here we go.
I'm not discounting.
Okay. Last night was one of the 2 or 3 worst games Tom Brady has ever played. Period. End of story.
True.
But here was the painful irony for me of last night. It was actually a double Jeopardy night, if I can make that reference in homage to the late, great Alex Trebek.
Yes.
You were on Jeopardy once upon a time. Ernestine and I love and live for Jeopardy, and God rest his soul, he passed yesterday.
Yes.
Fighting pancreatic cancer with a long, hard battle. But back to double Jeopardy. It has been the case this year for these Buccaneers, and most people haven't noticed this, but Tom Brady has picked up the defense again and again and again, because 4 times in their 6 wins, they have fallen behind, sometimes dangerously behind, and here came Tom Brady doing what he always does. Yesterday, last night, was very different, because while Tom was having a bad night, to me, the defense had a worse night given their standing, their status, their rating. They came in ranked by Pro Football Focus the number 2 defense in pro football. They didn't get just shredded. They got embarrassed. They got humiliated. They got blown off their own field. To your point, if Jared Cook doesn't fumble on the second possession at the 2-yard line, if he doesn't do that, then Drew Brees is going to score touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On his first 5 possessions, he's going to score touchdowns. He did score on 4 of the 5 touchdowns to put them up 28-0. On the 6th possession of the night, they got an easy field goal to go up 31-0. Tom Brady is no different at 43 than he was at 33 or 23. He is not mobile. Nobody ever. He ran the ugliest 40-yard dash in the history of 40-yard dashes at the combine.
Might have been the slowest, too, for a quarterback.
You got it. Last night, from the first snap of the game, the Saints were all over him. You ridicule him on a daily basis, so now you're loving it because all the Brady haters out there, and they have come out of hiding, full force and full throat.
Skip, they're a good running team. Ro Jones can run the football. He was like a top 5, top 6 rusher. And you give him how many carries? Okay, we can't run. Look, that's throw the ball, John.
Okay, whose fault is that?
That's BA's and Brian.
Thank you.
You can't.
And BA doesn't call the plays directly, but he obviously oversees. He overrules. He is the final say.
Make it fair. I don't care who the quarterback is. Joe Montana, John Elway, Patrick Mahomes.
I agree.
If you let the defense know all we're going to do is throw the football and they say we can just pin our ears back, they're going to come get you.
Okay. And did they come get him from the first snap? Basically from the first snap.
Coaches would rather lose their way than win someone else's way. And BA is winning, but he's not happy winning like that because that's not his way.
How much of the blame is on Brady for this loss?
A lot of the blame, just like a lot of the credit was given to Brady when especially he showed the kind of leadership he did after they had the disastrous game in Chicago, where a lot of the blame was heaped upon him, right? His offensive line was messing up. He chastises them like very publicly, and then he makes a mental error. Well, you knew the kind of leader Tom Brady is. One thing they're not going to make a lot of the next week are mental errors. And in fact, they didn't. They went out, they played their best game of the season. They whooped up on the Packers. So back then, the defense of the Bucs was getting a lot of credit, as they deserve, and Tom Brady was getting a lot of credit, as he deserved. And now comes the time where you give them blame after a bad loss. They are the defense, yes, you want to talk about the fact they gave up all those points, fine, although when your quarterback's constantly turning the ball over, makes it harder on the defense, but okay. But also the quarterback, who did turn the ball over a whole bunch, who made curious decisions. Tom Brady, look, the Bucs are having a good season, and Tom Brady deserves a lot of credit for that, and he's been given a lot of credit for that. But when they lose like this, he also deserves a lot of blame. Well, here they come. Here come the excuses. Just like he had credit, and he deserved credit for showing leadership when they lost and turned it around, he deserves blame when they lose like this. And by the way, kicking a field goal down 1,000,000 points so you don't get shut out, Bush League.
Well, first of all, thank you for highlighting and you really illuminating the fact that you don't listen to people, because the fact of the matter is anybody that watched that game last night ain't making any excuses about Tom Brady. He looked like straight garbage. I don't know who you're talking about is going to make excuses for Tom Brady after they got blown out in the fashion that they got blown out. He looked god-awful. Now, if you want to make sure, if you want to point to folks pointing out how others messed up as a means to offset what Tom Brady has done or what have you, and you want to use that as an excuse, then I guess you'll have a point here, because I'm looking at Bruce Arians and I'm looking at Todd Bowles and the coaching staff, and I'm looking at Byron Leftwich as well. How the hell do you run the football 5 times? How the hell does Leonard Fournette, of all people, have 1 rush but 6 catches? How does that happen? How do you sit up there and rush the football 5 times when you've got a 43-year-old quarterback? You're asking to drop back and throw the ball 30-plus times against a Saints defense that is a quality defense, by the way, that basically pulled their ears back and said, all right, this is how you're going to try to disrespect us? We're coming for you. Here's where I'm going to blame Tom Brady most of all. His first 2 interceptions, he targeted Antonio Brown, who just got there. Evidently, you thought that being in New England with him for 1 game was enough for you guys to have chemistry where you could sit up there and anticipate, and he can anticipate accurately what you wanted to do at the quarterback spot as well, even though he hadn't even had a full week of practice as far as I'm concerned.
You just got through saying, hey, you're not listening. No one's going to make excuses for Tom Brady. He looked awful, and then blame the coaching staff. This is what I mean. If you want to say AB just got there, who brought AB in?
I said them and him.
Okay, go ahead now.
I know, I understand. It's a tough morning for a lot of people. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of people it's a tough morning for. Folks realizing, their own sports mortality, and also realizing, Brandon, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a real problem. And problem is they can't beat these guys. It's not just their own two. They have been whooped. And by the way, kicking a field goal down 38-0, I'm not sure I love that. Tampa or New Orleans are in the shutout, kicking a 50-yard field goal with Will Lutz, but whatever. I don't know if these teams will match up again in the postseason. It's absolutely in play, especially with the new postseason format. Yeah. But if they were to match up, why would we expect it to go any differently, Brandon? So to me, this game, it was absolutely about both. New Orleans deserves credit, but Tampa also deserves immense scrutiny for falling flat on its face in its biggest game of the year.
Well, let's go back to before the season. What did I say? I said the New Orleans Saints will dominate the regular season, and then the Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady will dominate the postseason. That's what I said. And why did I say that? Because they have this trend going on the last couple years where they dominate in the regular season. So I'm not surprised how they're playing. But the regular season, this is what they do. This is what they do. The postseason is where they struggle.
So, but I agree with that, but here's the problem, Wilds, for the Bucks. This was a playoff game. So it's not like they left anything in the chamber. If they had won this game, they wake up this morning as the 1 seed on track to a bye. Because they lost this game, they now are 2 games back in the division, essentially, because they have 1 more loss and they lost the tiebreaker, and they are staring at nothing but road playoff games starting wild card weekend. But we can't treat it like that Tampa, this game didn't have their full attention. This was the biggest game they will play all year long. The Saints game in their building. And they got annihilated, just like they did the Saints game in the Saints building.
But when you get to the postseason, things change, and that's what I'm saying about this matchup. If these guys if they see each other again in the postseason, you would have to think that Todd Bowles will not blitz him as much. You would have to think that they will lean more on the run and go back to play action on the offensive side.
Acho, did the Bucks get exposed last night?
Bro, they got exposed the week before against the Giants. I told you that. They got taken advantage of last night. They got exposed on Monday night against the New York Football Giants. Then they got it taken advantage of, Marcellus, after the Buccaneers barely squeaked by the Giants. I came on this show and I told you, I said, hey, you've seen the blueprint to beat the Buccaneers. What was the blueprint? Head coach for the Giants, he said, hey, don't beat Tom Brady, beat everyone else. Remember, you ain't got to beat the Hall of Fame first ballot greatest quarterback of all time. Just beat his teammates. The first 12 to 15 plays on offense are scripted. You telling me you scripted that? You scripted 3 and outs? Tear it up! No, you scripted 4 3 and outs to start the game?
So I'm going to say it with a little less sauce. They didn't get exposed. Let's just go there to have some binary conversation here. This is why they didn't get exposed. One, if you look at them, this is a team that's still learning itself on the fly. And I understand you want to make last night the biggest game of the season for them. But I remember them just a couple weeks ago having the biggest game of the season. I thought it was the Green Bay Packers. Sure. And how did that turn out? Did they spank the Green Bay Packers? Yes, they did. Did they get spanked last night? Yes, they did. And that's to my point. Like, every team is vulnerable right now. If you really look at any team that wins a Super Bowl, there's going to be a wart or two, a forgettable game or two. That is just going to be a blemish on the way to your goals. That's all this is for them, a blemish. Growing pains means you will grow, but it's going to hurt. Last night hurt, but it's another one of their growing pains as they get used to each other.
And they wear a different color jersey because you're not supposed to hit them in practice. We understand the quarterback is more important than every other position, so we physically protect them by wearing a different color jersey. But if we physically protect the quarterback, why don't we mentally protect the quarterback? You must been working already. You did Colin, You warmed up for it. That was a nugget. If we physically protect the quarterback, why don't we mentally? You can't call out Tom Brady like everybody else. Not that it's fair, not that it's right, not that it's just, not that it's whatever you want to say. The fact of the matter is, you don't let Tom Brady get hit, because Tom Brady's more important than everybody else, so you protect his physical. Then why don't you protect his emotional? That's my first lap. That's my first layer. They gon' fall off. They might. Not gonna say they will. They might fall off the rails. I'm just reading the warning sign. You think that this is potentially falling off the rails when this team already at the halfway point has one fewer win than it did in its entire season last year. But Acho loved that 7-9 season. Acho was all in, almost matching the colors right now. You are a Buccaneer fan from last year. But this year, now you're disturbed that this team is on pace to do much more than it did last year. What did it do last year? What did it add up to? Nothing greater than a sum of its parts. Now you add the cherry on top. Now you add the most winning quarterback, most winning player in NFL history. You got something here. You got to understand how this team is going to respond to adversity. The same way that Tom Brady has always responded to adversity. Brady, 4-0 in career games when he gets beat down by 24 or more. Oh, how about 7-1 when they get beat down by 20 points or more? This is a simple situation to figure out. But when you talk about him running the same offense that Jameis Winston ran, he's doing it much more efficiently and much more to the satisfaction of his head coach, because last year, Jameis had 40 passes that were explosive, over 20 yards. This year, Brady already at the halfway point has 18. So you know what everyone was saying. Brady ain't gonna throw it deep. Brady ain't gonna throw the bomb. Brady's throwing the bomb at the same pace as Jameis Winston last year. The only thing that he's missing is the leak outs. They're going to merge this offense together, and you're going to see that the best is yet to come.
My confidence in my squad doesn't go up and down based on 2 games against a Hall of Fame coach, a Hall of Fame quarterback that has great weapons around him.
Do we negate what happened when they played the Green Bay Packers and how high everybody were on the Tampa Bay Bucks back then? Now they play against the Saints, who have chemistry and continuity, who've been together for the past, been running the same thing for 10 plus years. The offensive coordinator, the offensive coaches, the defensive coaches been together the last couple years. Like, do we not take that into account?
Tom Brady didn't have much of an offseason with this football team. Of course, you didn't have the OTAs and the mini camps and things like that.
I think we're getting lost in the sauce here when you got a team being blown out and only running the ball 4 times, literally the lowest of all time. We're like, maybe it's Tom Brady's fault. Like, no, maybe it's your fault for devising a plan that literally the world hasn't seen since the Chicago Cardinals, who no one even knew was a team.
So I apologize. I didn't give my confidence level. Confidence level, the number would be 4.5 if I'm the Bucs. And I'm just going to keep harping on this point. And I'm supposed to do that. It was a bad job by me. I got to stick with the idea of the show. I don't know why or how anyone can gloss over the fact that fans or no fans, the Bucs are going to be on the road the entire postseason. If there is any other team in the league that is being called a Super Bowl contender, and they get swept in their season series by their divisional rival, and now they're going to be on the road the whole postseason, they're no longer a Super Bowl contender. I just can't think of an instance of a team who has this trajectory. You have a Super Bowl contender in your division. They whoop you twice in the regular season. You're on the road throughout the playoffs, and you end up turning that into a Super Bowl team. I can't think of the team that fits that profile.
You just gotta shake your head and laugh.
You're laughing. I mean, I think those 2 rings had a little bit to do with why they're on TV.
We won a few games before he was here.
A couple of them.
Yeah. There's so much football left. So let's just hold off a little bit and let's see what happens in the next couple weeks.
And the Rams and Bucs, and one major flaw is obvious, serious questions about the viability of their quarterbacks. I would like to acknowledge what was not acknowledged by Brian, Wilds, or Brandon, which I would assume is just a tacit acknowledgement that I am correct. I said,
are you talking about Tampa?
And the Bucs,
are you talking about Tampa?
Their one flaw was questions about quarterback, and nobody said they took issue with it. Nobody piped up and said, "Wait a minute, what about Tom Brady?" So listen. And your silence is deafening, and I appreciate. Listen, you're not yet ready to admit verbally I was right. It's okay.
I heard it this time, and I heard it an hour ago. But I'm going to ignore you. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm growing as a person. I'm not going to continue to have these arguments with you over the GOAT, Tom Brady. Not going to do it.
Okay.
Well, Skip, I believe he'll be better because this team is really set up. I mean, sometimes you struggle, and then you catch the right team at the right time. And I believe the Carolina Panthers is the right team at the right time. A lot of quarterbacks struggle with pressure, but not to this degree, not with this severity. And if you look at the 3 games they've lost, all have been because of pressure. New Orleans, Chicago, New Orleans again. You're absolutely right. If they leave him upright, well, you're going to have a problem on your hands.
Yet you question whether Brady's even the GOAT. You have said for 4 straight years on this show that he should just call it a day and go home.
To Tom's credit, yes, he tries to spread the ball around because that's what he does. Mike Evans is not used to having the ball spread around. He's used to getting his number targets.
He's going to have to give in to this. He's going to have to sacrifice if he wants to win that ring. The problem is they got so shell-shocked by this that I think their chances of winning this division just got destroyed on Sunday night. What does that mean? That they're looking uphill at being a road wildcard team, right? That's the best-case scenario that I see, unless New Orleans just falls all apart.
Correct.
I guess it could happen in this crazy 2020 that we're in, but I doubt it.
Right.
To me, that they have to figure out how to run the ball first.
Yes.
So maybe it'll be a more conservative approach.
Who needs to deliver more on Sunday? Is it Brady or is it Arians?
Obviously, Tom Brady. When the Bucs were flying high, Brady got enormous credit. I don't remember anyone talking about Bruce Arians has really coached this team up. Quarterbacks get disproportional blame and credit. He's gotten his credit when things went well, including from me, by the way. Now things aren't going well. I expect the bounce-back game, Stephen A., but he's better have one.
We know football's an emotional game, right? If you're the Buccaneers, you're angry because you got clobbered by the Saints last week.
Today, can they tap into some of that against the Carolina team? Much improved since week 2.
3-man rush. Brady has all day. Bumps, looks, and has Jones out of the backfield. He's going to come up. And now the ball came loose. And the Panthers do recover. Some time throws. It's Godwin. And a strike from Tom Brady. Brady, 4-man rush, gonna float one down the far sideline. It is caught by Evans. What a pretty throw by Tom Brady. Gotta get to the 15. 4-man rush, pressure. Brady eludes it, coming near side. Oh, what an adjustment by Godwin. Had to turn around against Cornelder and line, Rob Gronkowski off in the bunch. On the right side of your screen, big ol' 87. Brady looking the other way, though, firing, and it is caught for the touchdown. They go to the other tight end, Cameron Brate, and the Buccaneers are on the board. Final play of the first quarter. If they get it off, they do. 4-man rush. Brady fires over the middle. He's got a completion to Brown. And hope this week from the concussion. He'll have to wait another week. 2nd and long. Brady throws for Ned, who gets met right away by Boston. 3rd and goal. Brady looking that way now, firing, and it looked like Evans stopped. He's going for Evans, and he just stopped. And so it's a 23-yard field goal attempt for Ryan Succa, and it's up and it's good. Blitz coming. Brady sees it, gets away, throws, caught for a first down. It's Godwin. Troy Pride is in form, number 25. Brady looking that side, going that side. Antonio Brown has a first down. Into Carolina territory, he's to the 45. Second and long. Four-man rush. Brady lofting for Gronkowski. Who hauls it in? Gronk still going. Breaking tackles down inside the 5. He dusted off Jeremy Chin in a big game to Gronk. Fake to Fournette. Brady steps into it, throws. Evans as he inbounds. Touchdown! Eighth of the year for Mike Evans.
Get off the field on third down.
That has been the story, Pam. There's no question here. Before third down, it's Mike Evans converting.
I think it's smart.
Brady, here comes Burns with pressure. Steps away and completes to Antonio Brown. Playing right tackle here. Brady's going to throw it quickly, get it out for first down and more. Godwin breaks through inside the 30 and taken out inside the 25. Second and goal. Brady looking to throw, does so, and incomplete. To give Tampa Bay the lead, and Suckup is true. Fake. But it's not. I guess the Bucs may have thought so. So Charlton gets it away, trying to drop it inside the 5, and he does so. That's where Tampa Bay will start their second possession of the second half. Ronald Jones will get it. Big hole. Jones gets by. Ronald Jones may go all the way. Being chased from behind. Does Jones have enough? Still on his feet. Ronald Jones, 98-yard touchdown. Humphrey not playing as well with shoulder injury. Here's a fake blitz again. Bridgewater steps up in trouble. Throws, and it's intercepted by Pierre Paul, who dropped in coverage and has the pick. This, though, a 3rd and 19. Brady looking, surveying, gets it out to Brady now. Brady leaping forward, and boy, he got close. We'll see where they spot it. That's going to be the key.
This week it's the third down matchup.
Second down, blitz coming, picked up, Brady delivers, and a perfect strike. Evans, who is stacked up at the 5, he's still going. Brady can't find anyone, now fires, incomplete. Brady threw his fastball that time, trying to get it to Tyler Johnson. You see Suckup good from 23 and 24. This is only a 21-yard try. And just walks up and places that one through rather easily. Tampa Bay has to get to the 25. It's a blitz. Brady stands in, throws, and this will be short. Godwin had the catch. Blitz coming. Brady gets rid of it. Caught. First down and more. Evans almost stayed on his feet, but he did enough. Four-man rush. Brady goes far side of the field, and it is caught. Brown held on in traffic at another third down conversion. I don't know how he got there. Brady firing, and it's caught by Brown. That time Pride tried to undercut it, didn't work. And Antonio Brown has a big gain. Quick throw outside, and Evans corrals it. Mike Evans staying on his feet and diving for the end zone. First and goal for Tampa Bay. And the sneak. Certainly looks like he's in. There's a signal. Touchdown. Brady going for Gronkowski. Wide open touchdown, Tampa Bay. very good day for Bruce Arians and the Buccaneers. And a 46-23 win.
Coach Shannon, how impressive were Brady and the Bucs?
Well, they did what they were supposed to do, Skip. I thought this was the game, and I said is that because the Panthers don't generate pressure on the quarterback, Brady should be able to have his way. I thought he did a good job of spreading it around. Mike Evans got 11 targets. I think AB had like 8 targets. Chris Godwin knows he's going to be the low man on the totem pole between those 3 guys.
Okay, but he got 6 and caught all 6.
Yes. I thought Tom played well. I thought they ran the ball and then they were able to play action. But I told you the whole week, Skip, they don't generate pressure. And if you can't pressure him, you can't beat them. That's my only point. Tom played well. Mike Evans got involved. AB was involved. The guys were very, very active. But if you do not pressure Tom Brady, if you cannot get him off that mark, you cannot beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
My turn.
Do I have to give Tom a grade? I give him a grade later. I give him a grade later.
Well, go ahead.
I give
him like C-? No,
I give him a B+.
B+? All right, I'll take that.
Give him a B+.
He goes Godwin on 3rd and 11 for 15 yards. He goes AD for 16. He goes Gronk for 44. And then he goes Mike Evans from the 3 for a touchdown. That's a parade of stardom. You can see what's coming for this offense.
Now, and I told you, I was pretty close, but I want to know why Tom Brady is throwing touchdowns and he front running. Why was he throwing the touchdowns already up 37 points? They're up 37-23. Why would he do that? Now you tell me you don't like front running. LeBron James, cherry picking.
What did the Clippers need this year? Because they were all new to each other. They needed reps. What did this team need that needed to figure each other out after the worst game any team has played all year last Sunday night against New Orleans? Reps.
You better protect Tom, because one thing the Rams can do, they can hit your quarterback.
I agree. I got you.
So you better protect him.
Okay.
Third and 4. Brady again. Quick throw. It's the big chess match tonight. 3rd down and 7. Protection is good. That might have been tipped.
Keep doing that. It's going to pay dividends for him.
1st down and 10. Chris Godwin's first one backs in for Tampa on 3rd down and 2. Blitz is picked up. Able to complete. 2nd and 4. Play action. Brady. Gronkowski. Inside the 20. Pressure by the Rams. Brady able to throw and hit Evans again. Got the first down, trying to spin for more. Still on his feet. And he gets there. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Game at the top of the screen.
7 defensive backs to counteract that, Lewis. And still able to get
behind Eric Weddle.
Donald got some pressure last time.
I think he's going to stay there.
1st and 10 for 20. Brady throwing, another flag comes out.
This is a great matchup.
Rams brought the Bucs brought an extra blocker in, and it is Leonard Fournette in for the touchdown. 2nd and 11. Brady to throw, back shoulder.
His confidence stems from that resilience, and he believes he's a great player.
3rd and 5 for Brady. Throwing. 3rd and 8. Rams rush 5. Set it up. To tie the game, Brady and company will take over. From the 34. Quick throw, just got it through to Antonio Brown, and he will skate.
Unselfish, and right there is a great example of Chris Godwin blocking for him on the screen.
7 catches last week, 7 more tonight. Here's Brady to throw, trying to go to Godwin, and it's underthrown, intercepted. Jordan Fuller.
Down out faces. That's a nice play for Derek Quinn.
3rd down and 9. Brady has time to load up, looking for Antonio Brown. And Brady's going to be at a half Pryor got his own there. 3rd and 14. Here's Brady in the end zone. Here's Brady.
And that's speed number 13 and finding a way. He's matched up down here at the bottom.
There's 3rd and 10. Brady has to step up. And a flag flies in.
He threw the ball. It was batted. He caught it, and then he threw it again.
You can't do that. I don't have to check with John Parry on that one. Can't have 2 forward passes.
But then he completed it. That's what's amazing.
The GOAT, you just said.
You can see him right here on the screen. You see he's going to Mike Evans, right in between the hash and the numbers.
That's crazy.
Nice job right there by Terrell Lewis of getting his hands up. Terrell Lewis is a big boy now. He's 6'5", and then when he jumped, he hits him in the bicep. That's how high he's up in the air. Tom's like, hey, let me try it again.
For a pass, offense, number 12. That penalty is declined. The result of the player's completed catch, but it's short of the line of...
Brady on 1st and 10. Quick throw to Fournette, catches that one. Williams played his high school football nearby Jacksonville. 3rd and 10. Antonio Brown. Fire the cannons. 2nd down and 10. 23, 1st down and 10. See if Brady takes a shot here. It's Evans. Under 4 to go. Brady has Godwin, who was wide open. And it's a touchdown. Finney checks in now. 64 in the pewter. Watch for him against this ferocious pass rush of the Rams. That pass coming out too early for Antonio Brown.
Have to move Ryan Jensen back from left guard to center. He hasn't snapped in a while.
2nd and 10. Here's Brady. Over an outstretched hand, and it's too far. Too far for Brady and intercepted. Jordan Fuller comes up with his 2nd interception of the night. Fuller, fresh off the injured list to play in this one, comes up with a big pick.
Again, you see Jordan Fuller, you're going to see him right here. Just drive to the middle of the field and just read Tom Brady's eyes. But Brandon Staley said, between the numbers is where Tom Brady really likes to live, and that's where they were going to really focus on. And you see their safeties have been playing tight, and they have been playing shallow most of the game to really try and take away the middle of the field throws. Between the Raiders and the Packers and last week against Carolina, and then they've had some really uneven performances 2 weeks ago on this field, and they've been good at times tonight, and then they've turned the football over. And when you turn it over, I don't care how many stars you have, it's going to be hard to win.
All right, so you worried the Bucs won't reach their potential this season?
Oh, bro, absolutely. Remember, Marcellus, I'm really in my bag lately. I've been right a lot. I'm not even talking about.
Wait a minute, don't do.
I have. Cowboys. Look, we're talking about the Bucs right now.
Oh, okay.
Why does Tom Brady still look a little confused, like a misfit? What did they say, Marcellus? They said, look, don't beat Tom Brady. This is what Joe Judge said in that primetime game. Don't beat Tom Brady. Beat everybody else. I told y'all that was a blueprint. I said, wait a second, that makes some sense. Tom Brady's a Hall of Famer. Let's beat everybody else. So what happened just yesterday? They did that. I am worried about the Bucs reaching their potential, and in fact, I don't think they will.
It's interesting that you're worried about a team that already has matched their win production already at this point in the season, 11 games in, that they did all last year, all 16 games. 7 wins last year, 7 wins and counting this year. This is a team that I see that is learning their way. As they learn their way, they're going to be ups and downs. Acho, they're called growing pains, and there's no gain without a little pain.
Sooner or later, these selfless players, and kudos to them for being selfless, are going to realize Tom Brady ain't finna cut my checks this offseason. I got to get mine if this team is not going to get its.
You act like this team is not going to make the playoffs. You act like this team is not going to make some noise when they get to the playoffs. So having a premise of are you in your feelings, not strong enough for me when I'm looking at these professionals right here. Out to where I'm from, we want the last laugh. Where you from sounds like you want the first laugh or the mid-season laugh. Who gives a damn? This team is still learning each other, figuring out, should it be more AB? Less AB. More Scotty Miller, or less Scotty Miller? The point is, as long as they hit this equalizer and the channel buttons up at the right time, they're going to make some noise in the playoffs because this team is constructed to win.
Tom Brady has played bad. It's as simple as that. Tom Brady has not been good this year. He's played good this year. Wow. He's played good in spurts. Oh. He hasn't put a game together.
Huh.
No,
Well, did you watch the game at Carolina just a week ago? Is that like a virtuoso masterpiece?
Didn't they come from behind when they 10 down? Okay. But Skip, your boy looked awful last night. There's no way around it. I don't want to hear anything about the defense. Skip, Tom Brady, he got happy feet. He doesn't want to get hit. And they got around, Skip, they really didn't do a whole lot, but they got around him a little bit. And he got like he had poker, hot poker, like he was doing the poker. Skip. The thing that's going to happen is they're going to be a wild card, and they're going to go.
Wait a second. After all that, you've got him in the playoffs?
No, hold on, Skip.
You're kidding me.
Hold on.
After all that diatribe, you've got Tom Brady in the playoffs? You said he's awful, and he's done. He's washed up. In fact, for 4 straight years, you have said on this show, to open the season, he should go home.
One question. I'm going to turn it over to you. Somebody from the NFC East is going to the playoffs. Are they awful? A simple yes or simple no. Don't explain it. A simple yes or a simple no.
What does that have to do with this conversation?
Tom Brady was awful last night. He still might make the playoffs. That's the point.
That's not a point. That's a terrible point because somebody from the NFC East has to go to the playoffs.
Okay, Skip. They added an extra spot.
Nobody from this NFC South has to go because Rose is going.
They added an extra spot just so he could get in. They added an extra spot for him.
So you don't have enough guts to predict that Brady and company are out of the playoffs. I'm putting you on the hot seat.
I predicted.
Hot seat.
I predicted.
Shannon Sharp's on the hot seat.
He would play like trash in 2020. I predicted that.
Somebody has no courage of conviction.
What they got to do with last
night? Somebody's got no guts.
What they got to do with last night?
This was an awful matchup for Tom Brady because the Rams have one of the most fierce pass rushes in pro football. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
Because what do you tell me about Aaron Donald? He's transcendent. He's one of the greatest defensive linemen in the history of football. I told you the Rams can rush 4 and get home, and they got home, especially in the third quarter, and they knocked the hell out of Tom Brady. He took some serious abuse, especially in the third and early in the fourth quarter.
So can we, Skip, all that's fine. Can we just say he played bad last night?
No, I don't think he played bad overall.
Skip, come on, Skip.
I just showed you what he did in the first half. He was outstanding in the first half. He was dealing in the first half.
But Skip, no, he was not.
And in fact, they won the fourth quarter 7-3, and he did have a game-time drive in the middle of the fourth quarter. Does that count?
Skip.
Does it count?
Skip. I didn't even.
Did he do that?
First of all, Skip, I didn't want to bore the people at home with all the incompletions that he had to AB in the first half and all the overthrows to Mike Evans. Come on, Skip.
The Rams are number 1 in the National Football League in yards allowed. Do you give him any credit? Is there any degree of difficulty?
But you say he the GOAT.
I think the big thing is that you saw Batman without Robin last night, and that's Tom Brady without Bill Belichick.
Can you throw the ball forward twice, ED? Can you throw it forward, get it batted back, catch it, and throw it forward again? What is this, Skip?
I thought that was his best pass of the night.
Skip, hold on. Boy, you don't get. He must be thought he was Colorado, Missouri. You got a 5th down. You can't do that. That's your GOAT. Is that your GOAT?
Yeah, that's why I said
he looked like
that was something. I've never seen a quarterback pull that off before.
Lowercase GOAT.
In the third quarter, your guys tore Tom Brady apart. He took some serious Drew Brees-style punishment in the third quarter. Well, the GOAT's in a whole new ballpark, right? He's got all new teammates and all new coaches.
You could take a GOAT from the South and bring him to California. He gonna stand on a bus.
Yeah.
He'll go eat grass. He's still a GOAT, right, ED? Guess what? They took ED out of LA and put him in Indy. And guess what he did? Win the Russian title because that's what he does.
Where would you rank him among current quarterbacks?
That's still too high. Jenny mentioned that his 25 touchdowns is more than he threw all last year, but she forgot that part. Them 9 interceptions is also more than he threw all of last year. So we got to make sure we get all the stuff in there, Skip Bayless. It used to be, when I turned into the dictionary, more with less, there was a picture of Tom Brady. Now nobody does less with more. Do I need the game against, who did play, Kenny? New Orleans, that was it. Call a timeout, the kick a field goal. That should be beneath Tom Brady. So I have absolutely no problem. Actually, I do have a problem because Tom Brady should be lower. Tom Brady should be 13, 14 at the best.
After last night, do you still trust Tom Brady?
I do. I don't like what I saw last night. I'll be the first to admit that. But when we talk about whether I trust him or not, I'm going to go to somebody's body of work as opposed to, what they've done in the immediate moment. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment when it comes to Tom Brady. This is about the third time this year, at least, that we have looked at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and said schematically, we are not impressed with the game that's been called by Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich. We're not impressed. And so somehow, some way, they've got to get it together. The question is, do you trust that Tom Brady will? And I'm saying, even at 43, with these multitude of weapons, with what I've seen him do in good moments this year, I believe that when it's time, he will show up. You're going to have to show me differently. Until I see it, I'm not going to believe otherwise.
When we ask the question, do you still trust Tom Brady, we mean in the moment of truth, game on the line. Here's the ball, you got a minute left or something like that. Are you going to lead him down the field? That's really what we're talking about, because I have acknowledged Tom Brady can still play quarterback. At his age, it's remarkable. Now, do I trust Tom Brady to rebound, to lead his team, to make sure they clean up the errors from the week before? Yeah, I trust him in that way. But I think we're talking about more than that. We're talking about the great Tom Brady, who, here it is, the moment of truth, go get it done. I haven't seen him do that in a while when they need him most. And, the reasons are obvious. He's old now. I don't think it's fair today to point fingers at people other than Tom Brady first. I think it's Brady, and I don't trust him in those moments like I used to.
Well, listen, we know what the Bucs are. They can't deal with pressure on the quarterback. I don't mean pressure in like the ephemeral sense, like actual human beings trying to hit the quarterback. They fall apart when that happens. Tom Brady last night, I thought, was a bit of an innovator, trying to push the boundaries as far as, let me see quite how far the refs will let me take. He saw early in the game, they're going to create defensive pass interference out of nowhere. He saw later in the game, they're going to totally change the fumble rules, which they changed for me. They're going to change them again back to how they once were. So I'm going to try to invent a double pass and see if I can get away with it. You know what? If it wasn't for those rascally kids, I think he would have gotten away with it. He damn near did. So everyone's going to bang on Brady because he looked like an old man, and 24 hours after we saw the future GOAT lead his team down the field like clockwork, Brady just needed to get in field goal range and threw a terrible pick, and now he has 9 on the season, and that's more than, Daniel Jones and Phillip Rivers, and it ain't great. They are what they were always going to be, a decent team with a limited quarterback.
Because I've been standing on the table arguing you down about how Tom Brady is the GOAT and he's the best ever and he's still playing lights out. But the reality is, Tom Brady lost that game last night. Tom Brady played bad. I'm starting to rethink my love for Tampa Bay and Tom Brady right now. That was just bad. That was bad.
No, Brandon,
that was too
Brandon, you can't move around like this. Stay seated, right, and stay with your Tom Brady love. Now I've got to do it for you, and then in my opinion, it's invalidated because of my Patriots love. Did the Rams play last night? Did Tom Brady go against the team from Varsity Blues, or the team with LL Cool J and Jamie Foxx, or was it the best defense? I think it was the best defense.
Wilds. He didn't throw him because he was old. He threw him because he was scared.
That's fine.
He can't deal with pass rush. And what you saw in the final, listen, they just needed a field goal. They had 2nd and 10 with 1:50 and a timeout. They needed to get 30 yards. But what happened? A.Q. Shipley, their center, went out of the game, and Brady preemptively saw a pass rush that wasn't there and threw the game away.
I do not think Tom Brady can keep up with Patrick Mahomes. But let me be clear. At no point in Tom Brady's career he's going to keep up with Patrick Mahomes given the same circumstances. Mahomes is a much more talented player. And Brady's advantage back in the day was not only he was a strong-arm quarterback, but he was the best decision maker. He processed information the most quickly. He made the best decisions. He made the fewest errors. Number one, he ain't with Bill Belichick anymore. And Bill Belichick had something to do with that, right? He's with Bruce Arians. Now he sees not how the other half lives, but how almost everyone else who's ever lived lives without Bill Belichick. Not that the guy's not good, but he's not as close to perfect, right? And that's part of it. And so, you know, the game can be close, but Mahomes also makes the kind of decisions that Brady makes, you know, in his prime, that big advantage that Brady had. He's making the best decisions, others aren't. Nowadays, a lot of guys are making a lot of good decisions. Mahomes is one of them, but he's doing it with superhuman talent. So no, Brady won't keep up with Mahomes.
Right? Expectation is the greatest breeding ground for disappointment. Because if you don't expect certain things, you don't feel let down. So when we see Brady play great the way, or the team play great the way they play against Carolina, you expect that to roll back around when you're playing the Rams, when you're playing the Saints. But every week is different. And what we've seen is when you can put pressure on Tom Brady, it changes him.
If you had to list the quarterbacks with a minute left in the game that you need to march you down the field, is Brady one of the top 3 or 4 or even 5 guys in the league right now? Because he has every weapon you can imagine. The answer is no.
If you can't generate pressure on Tom Brady, you can't beat him. If you look at the game that they've lost, Skip, it's a reoccurring theme. There's nothing spectacular. It's not like they ran the ball for 10,000 yards. They did one thing. New Orleans beat him twice, Chicago beat him, and the Rams beat him. Pressure, pressure, pressure. But Mahomes will be great. He will be extraordinary. I promise you.
So arguments prevail. Who's the GOAT, the greatest of all time? But today, the NFL gives you a taste of that. Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs.
You got the greatest at quarterback. And yes, every play he tries to be perfect. What did you take out of your meeting with him yesterday?
Well, just talking to him, you know, I watch the tape and I sit here and I watch an offense that's very different than his. And one area of concern I have, they're throwing it a lot, right? And they're throwing it downfield. People talk about he's throwing the ball great. He's thrown some of the most difficult throws he's thrown in his career right now, completing a lot. Then they go through stretches where they don't complete it. Those 2 safeties back there are staying deep, and then they come downhill after the snap.
Here's the Brady throw on the money at the 40 to Evans and a first down. Gain of 12.
You can't watch this without seeing Brady's arm strength and power. People talk about it. He's throwing the ball as good as anybody over 38 ever, I would argue.
And forget over 40.
You got to get rid of the misconception that he doesn't have a big arm. He's lost arm strength. That's gone. He's throwing some incredible balls under pressures here. He's under more pressure, Jim, because it's a vertical route running team, which means they run a lot of stuff down the field with one guy underneath.
Tom goes back into the gun on 2nd down and 6. Pressure, hits it away. Here's a deep pass and went right through the hands of Evans.
Well, now I'm going to keep trying to take you through each one of these things. It's a go route, but Brady's throwing more balls under extreme pressure. You see this? Now you're going to say, oh, another deep ball that Brady didn't complete.
Well, look where the pass was.
Perfect. Incomplete. And what happens is I see it and I'm like, wow, he's throwing some unbelievable balls under extreme pressure. They need to do more easy things. Motion, let Tom Brady see if it's man-to-man or zone. He's reading everything after the snap right now. They just line up and play too much.
Gronkowski moves a little bit in tighter on that right side. Pressure again. Brady sideline pass. Reel in on the coverage. Evans the target, and the Bucs will come off the field.
You have to read everything after the snap. It's really difficult for the quarterback if you have a team who can pressure you with 4 guys up front and play 2 high safeties deep. That means they help on every receiver. Everyone's like, they're great on the outside at wide receiver. Why can't they move the ball? Because they're all double teamed most of the time. You don't get many big plays like that.
Mahomes has not thrown a pass to Kelsey yet, but Kelsey threw one to him. Spelled incomplete, and now you want a deep ball. Here it is. 2. Hill for the touchdown. 75 yards.
On first down here against a really good Tampa defense, he's throwing it long. Gunning it long, Tyreek Hill pulls it in at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Kansas City, Tyreek Hill, an explosive first quarter, 75-yard touchdown reception on a perfect strike from Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think they're running that anymore.
3rd and 2. And that ball's incomplete. Great was in the area. And we're going to have a 3rd punt for the Bucs here in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Just another miscommunication, and this is really a thing, and I know Brady's frustration here. It's just very difficult. You know, on that play alone right there, I just saw 2 things from the wide receiver core that literally should be different.
3rd and 8. It's like 3rd and 1 for this team. Down the field, who else? Hill at the 10, cut back, touchdown. Touchdown and a leap.
10-0 Kansas City, 1:47 to go first quarter. Mahomes throwing to that. Tyreek Hill over the shoulder, 15-yard line, cuts it back inside, 5, he backflips into the end zone, touchdown, Kansas City, 44-yard touchdown reception, and Tyreek Hill is close to 200 yards receiving in the first quarter.
Just 44 yards of offense and 2 first downs.
Gronkowski, the quarterbacks who throw those interceptions came back better in the second year, but they didn't have an offseason either. And
Gronk, watch her out.
1st and 10. Good job picking up the rush. And there's Gronkowski across the middle for a big gain just when the Bucs needed it.
And he knew that the defensive end was covering him.
Which was a big subject this week. Perfectly thrown that time, and here he is from the pocket. Going underneath. Going to Ronald Jones. High stepping it down the sideline. Did he stay in? Touchdown.
Well, you called it on Jones earlier. His ability, it flashes. Fournette with a few drops last week hurt the team.
All 3 of them have been from outside of 35 yards.
And it's a game. It's 20-7.
Gronk in that first half. 4 catches for 50 yards. Give him a fifth. Look what they did in those 5-year spans. Gronk owned it. Kelsey's been the man here in the recent history. As Brady goes downfield, and he's got him! He's got Gronkowski to the 10 and to the 5. 48-yard pass play.
Well, we said play action. This helps them. They got to run the ball for it. Look at Brady's head. He's going to look left just like Mahomes and keep the free safety there because he knows Gronk's coming this way. Looks everybody off. They both do the same thing. You just got to have time to do it.
Back in the end zone and 21 to 23 on the year. Yeah, he gets it through there. Got a 2nd and 4, empty backfield. Work for the big strike. He's got it. It's Hill again for the touchdown.
2nd and 4 for the Chiefs. Mahomes snap at his belt. Works the right boundary. Tyreek Hill over the shoulder. Touchdown! Kansas City! And continues Carlton Davis's nightmare day. And the wonderful game for Tyreek Hill. A 20-yard reception. Perfectly thrown football over the shoulder of the cheetah.
How do you get everybody the football? What's open? 3rd and 15 with pressure. Brady goes deep. What a throw. What a catch. Godwin able to haul it in, and somehow Tom Brady hung in there and was able to deliver it 46 yards down the field.
This is unbelievable. This is where I said there's about 10 throws Brady's made this year where I'm like, it's exceptional. It's like Mahomes There's only 3 or 4 guys. I mean, you got a Rodgers, a couple guys out there who can really make these things under that kind of pressure, that accurate. But he's having to be asked to do it a lot. I mean, you saw the pressure bearing down.
Yeah, look at Ward and Sorensen.
5 minutes to go, third quarter. Chiefs by 17. Bucs are going to throw it again. Brady looks off his intended receiver near side. Breland with the interception at the boundary. They're going to rule him down by contact at the 10.
Second catch now for AB. Gets the running. 3 tight ends on the 2nd and 8. Had to get rid of it. Look out. It's picked off.
27-10 Chiefs. A blitz pass deflected. Intercepted. Tyrann Mathieu off the deflection. Honey Badger coming left at the 30. Looking for blockers. 35. A second consecutive interception for the Chiefs defense. Last time by Breland. This time by the Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu off the deflection.
Right now, I mean, they're going to be really tough out, as everyone knows, the defending champs.
There's break for 9. Right now, they are sitting in the 1 spot, undefeated. Here's a 2nd and 1. And by the way, as that completion to Godwin picks up the first down.
Ball gets incomplete on a 3rd down. That's what's happened to them. I do see evolution, though, Jim. I see signs of life tonight I had not seen with certain routes and concepts that are a lot like Brady used to do.
3rd and 10. And that's Godwin. Now they're down 3 scores. If you go field goal here, you know, you've knocked off one of the scores. Granted, you need a lot of ground to make up. You can get it to 27.
This is where he comes after you. This is Spags over and over the years.
Brady's going for the big ball. He's open! Evans for the touchdown on 4th and 3.
It's an out, like a flat route, and then go up the sideline. Brady with a perfect throw in between. Spags shows like he's going to blitz everyone. He doesn't, which was a mistake because he wouldn't have had that kind of time.
2nd and 10. Great. Good piece of tackling right there. Bring it down immediately by Thornhill. 3rd down, threads it. Got the first. Godwin. Evans somehow. Boy, it didn't look like he'd be returning anytime soon, but takes just 2 plays off and he's back. 1st and 10. It's open for Fournette. Clock will continue to run.
Hurry, go!
2nd and 2. Got the first down. Fournette. 1st down. Another blitz. Again underneath. It's Godwin. Tripped up by Mathieu. But he's got another 1st down.
Well, this is the communication. This is great. Blitz, blitz. The guy's coming to get you. Godwin, you got to see it. Give him a spot to throw it in. You see how he was soft right there? Great job.
From the 22 and a new set of downs. Brady in trouble. And they got to him this time.
Everyone's got to be aggressive here, but Tom's just trying to see what they're in. Right here, you see how tight these formations? I like this. Motion across, get people running sideways across the field.
The Bucs timeout leaves him with 2. That completion to Godwin.
It's a great route by Godwin. And Brady threw it under pressure. Watch this.
No foul.
Another
Roughing the passer.
Oh, another
Defense
one.
number 55.
Another
the
one.
is half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. 1st down.
That's the 2nd time on this drive that Frank Clark has been caught roughing the passer, and again, you can't do that.
That's silly. I mean, really. Pointless.
To the end zone, flag out, touchdown Evans.
I don't think there was anything on offense I saw on the field. I think it's probably on the defense, like they hit Evans in the face or something.
Illegal use of hands. Defense number 21. The penalty's declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
We want a little drama? We got it. All of a sudden.
Stack, I like it. Get up. Evans read it perfectly. Breland, hand to the face, 21, and it's Evans inside runs an option route really well, right? He just needs to learn some of the protections to help on the hot route stuff. I mean, each of these receivers does, but that takes time, but he does a good job inside there on those routes. Great decision, great drive.
Brady with 345 yards now and 3 touchdowns. Suck up to get it down to a field goal game, and it's good.
Chiefs 27, Tampa Bay 24. A minute 29 to go in the game. 3rd down and 7 for the Chiefs at the Buccaneer 49. A 1 first down. The Bucs are out of timeouts. A first down would end it. The Bucs going to blitz here. They rush 4. Rolling to the left is Mahomes. Steps up. Throws it late. Caught! Tyreek Hill! Game, set, and match! A gain of 8 yards.
Let's watch Brady and Mahomes as they now go 2-2 in their matchups.
Patrick Mahomes has beaten Tom Brady for a 2nd consecutive time.
Do you want me to make a slight guess here? I think there's a better than good chance. I don't know what even that percentage is that these two are going to be here in Tampa.
Wow.
Today's the
both
first
sides
time.
of it.
I thought Tampa Bay had a very uphill battle to climb. Now I think they're in the discussion